Hey, that is Steve. Please like and subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon. Click on subscribe. It's 100% free. Blood in, blood out. And don't forget to click on the notifications just so you don't miss any amazing content. This is a big shout out to Beast Mode Smooth, you'll see in the top left. This is the brick lady. Blew up the internet not that long ago, claiming that somebody threw a brick at her, but it turned out to be a big bag of bullshit. Anyway, we'll see with the introduction. How long is this video? 35 minutes. There's a point where I'm going to have to speed it up just for all of our sanity. But it's just really an update to that story if you're already familiar with it. Let's go.
Flashback.
I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no.
She ended up stacking up more than $42,000 on a GoFundMe with the story. Now it's called a total scam. Court records say Osman called police reporting the incident, saying Olin Douglas was the man who hit her. But she changed her story multiple times, and police say they got security video of the incident that showed Osman hitting Douglas, then Douglas hitting her back, saying the video didn't match Osman's claims. The document goes on to say this isn't Osman's first scam, saying in 2020 she made a GoFundMe claiming a man hit her in Minneapolis. But police there say there's no record of her being assaulted. Osman is now charged with theft by deception.
Several months later.
I was watching this woman.
Okay, yeah, so that lady is Osman. So that's the one that claimed that some guy kind of hit her, and I think it's called a hematoma. Don't quote me, I'm not a doctor. Hematoma, basically that kind of swelling on the face, basically. She hit him, he hit her back, and I think on the news article it said that there was CCCTV. CCCTV is even more serious than CCTV, believe it or not. Making that up. And what else? She had a GoFundMe based on that bullshit story and actually raised a little bit of money. Anyway, so this is a panel talking about it. The actual lady in question is on the bottom row, left-hand side, second from the left. Well, I'm going to try speeding it up. She talks a lot of bullshit very quickly. I'm going to warn you in advance, but let's go.
You know, I've been married before. I'm single now. But if I had the opportunity to be a man, I would definitely pay all the rent because I know now I'm getting meals. Now I'm getting a clean house. Think about it. If you paid for a cleaner and you paid for a chef and you paid for a nanny and you paid for a therapist and you paid for that, that's far more than paying the bills.
So my God.
Unpaid labor is unpaid labor. I'm just thinking and I think it all depends on what the woman is doing in the household. But if a woman is there for you, doing the therapy, cooking the food, taking care of your kids, washing the clothes, doing all that stuff, that would cost you probably more than your whole income.
So Rhoda,
so now you get a house to live in as well.
Rhoda, this is a house that you got to build brick by brick, okay? You just don't get it because you here. All right, that's why I asked, how long do you wait before you hit that special Gok 3000? I feel like every dude should make a woman wait.
Personally, I wouldn't date a man that's waiting for me to do something sexually for him to reward me any kind of way. I wouldn't date that. I wouldn't do that. And I will say this, okay? So me.
You know, I'm going to have to jump in there just quickly. I think every single man is just, again, I did a different video. We're not doing all these nice things and just trying to get to know you, making that first move just to have another flaming text buddy. You know what I mean? Men are sexually driven. Full stop. Every single man. Even that one with the glasses, the one sitting in the corner, nice as pie, sexually driven. Even that one that walks you to the bus stop and you don't really know where you're coming from, so you put him in that friend zone. Yeah, he's made the wrong move. Sexually driven. There you go. She's kind of making a point I've heard before about, well, actually all this unpaid labor, if you actually paid somebody to do the cleaning and, you know, wash your clothes, and I've heard them say stupid stuff like if you actually paid for a surrogate, then you add all that up and blah, blah, blah. Ignoring the fact that, okay, presumably she's living rent free, right? So say she didn't have to pay for the rent, then I guess she has to go to work, right? Pay 50-50. Who's providing all the food? Oh, that'll be him again. Say who's providing, okay, we're going to get ridiculous. Say if you're on the streets, I think they mentioned a little bit later, say somebody's going to attack you, who's going to protect you? Well, how much is 24-hour security going to cost you? If you're going to get stupid about it, you know what I mean? It's just like, and one of the ladies actually made a very valid point as well. If you're not married to this guy, then he doesn't owe you, even if you're going to take it down that silly route. If you're not married to the guy, he owes you nothing. A man will be a provider to his family, not to some damn stranger. not to somebody just dating, you know what I mean, who's giving him absolutely nothing in return, not even giving him that good. You know what I'm saying? And if he's paying for that good, then you know that what that makes you. So I think and the best way for women to go about it in 2024, going into 2025 very soon, we're in a position of equality now. He's got to accept the reality. You know what I mean? Men should not really have to pay for the naughty anyway. And I don't think any woman who prides herself should be looking for it, for looking for that. If she's going to look for somebody who could potentially maintain, you know, a family going forward, should one person be pregnant, have to raise kids, it's got to be one or the other, and she's leaning towards it's definitely got to be her, fair enough. Then look for those qualities in a man. I'm not saying don't look for those qualities in a man, but you don't earn it just from turning up. Pay your own way and have some pride and respect to you. Anyway, let's go forward.
I've been on my own since I was 16. I've been able to pay bills my whole entire life. I can pay bills by myself. To me, there's no incentive for me to live with a man if he's not paying the bills. I can take care of 100% on my own. But if I want to live with a man now, if you want me to pay, if you want a roommate, homie, just say that.
Bro, now hold on.
You know?
Hear me out, because a couple years back, I was watching this woman. She got hit with a brick, and she was saying she needed protection. So if you had a man, he probably wasn't paying rent, but he had protection for you. So
I think you're really trying to be funny. I think you're really trying to be funny, and I think that you try. How are you trying to be funny? I know exactly. I don't know why you would bring up something that happened to you.
Yo, he just Yo, he trolling. Yo, I love it. Listen, man, and listen, although he's trolling, that's a fair point. Because she's basically saying, hey, why would I want to move in with a man? Well, if you had a man to protect you, allegedly, if you got hit with a brick, your man probably would have stepped in and protected you. I'm just saying. So the fact that he kind of tied everything together there, you got to love it. You got to love it.
A year ago to me, and you know, and
And just as a valid point from this bullshit kind of argument that she's trying to make, really. But remember, that is the lady, the brick lady herself, the one that was in a news article again, second from the left, bottom row. Anyway, let's go.
not even the topic. But if you want to talk about that, we can talk about that. And we can talk about that. But I don't want to come and take over. But I think that making jokes and laughs about violence is just not funny. It's never going to be funny. It's never a place for. There's never a place for that.
That had to happen first. That didn't happen.
What does a man in my household paying bills have anything to do with a violent random man on the street? Whether I have a husband paying my rent or not, every woman is susceptible to be around a violent man. Those two. If you're going to have a conversation, you're going to have to be cohesive, and you're going to have to learn how to follow the conversation. But if you can't do that, you're going from sex, and now you're going to violence. And maybe sex and violence are the only two things that you're able to think about.
You think I have somebody I love in the bricks, in the projects? You think I'm gonna have my girl in the bricks?
Again, I cannot follow somebody who has trouble with cohesive sentences. You went from sex to a scandal to protection, and now you're talking about the projects.
I'm trying
to try to stay on topic, honey, and then I will try to follow you.
So I have a question, 2K. 2K, to take it back, do you think that men should step up more regarding pain? Huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every man should step in the way of a woman that's getting a brick thrown in front of
her. Paying mortgages.
Paying mortgages.
Yes, the title.
The thing is, I think that you're trying to get a moment off of something that was very violent, and also I think you think that you're funny, but you're not. And I also think that you think that you can hurt my feelings, sweetheart. What I've dealt with, you cannot hurt my feelings with these basic lame jokes. These are lame jokes, and they're pathetic. And you're like getting off the topic, and you're wasting the productivity level here. I'm gonna tell you something, honey. I got hit by a brick. I got globally brutalized. I got criminalized, and guess what? I'm still here, looking better than you and doing better than you, and still intellectual and still fine. Got hit with the head and still fine. I'm not struggling with cohesiveness. Let me tell you something. You cannot hurt my feelings. So that's what you're trying to do. Stop, because you can't. All you do is remind me how strong I am and how resilient I am and how dope I am. But thank you for that reminder, because today I forgot that I was a bad bitch. Still, thank you for the reminder that I'm a bad and that I constantly survive men like you. It's not funny. You have sisters, you have daughters, I'm pretty sure you have daughters, because you look like you don't use a condom or ever heard of one. What? So let me tell you something. I have survived that shit. That was my trauma, and I'm still dealing with it. And I survived it, and I'm fine, and I'm better. But your little lame ass jokes are pathetic, and they're not hitting, honey. They're not hitting. You think you're eating, but you ate too much. That's why you look like that. You ate too much food, and you should have been reading a book, and then maybe you could have ate with talking shit to me. So I'm gonna tell you right that if you're trying to hurt my feelings, baby, it's not gonna work. Every time a lame ass nigga talks about this kind of shit, all it does is remind me that I'm a dope ass, resilient, standing on business queen. and you're not going to hurt my feelings. But you can look like a lame ass and keep talking about this. Or you can try to sit down and have a productive conversation with the other people in this room and respect everybody's time.
Look at
Yeah, just a warning before Peacemail comes in. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that kind of empty ranting going on, so that's why it's sped up to 1.25. I'm going to stick at 1.25. If you want to put your subtitles on, I totally get it. Let's see what Peacemail's going to say.
Anton's face. He's just like, you can tell he's about to say some shit, man. He's about to gear up and unleash on this chick. Yo, I find it quite fascinating that, hey, he's kind of trolling her a little bit, bringing up the brick thing, and she's just falling for the bait, right? She's really unraveling right here and having a mask off moment in regards to who she really is, okay? Because the masculinity is coming out of her pores at this point in time here, but let's keep going.
Nowhere over here.
Okay.
Nowhere over here. Because I seen on microwave. No, hold on, Q. I seen on microwave before this live started. She had little shit all on.
Oh yeah, I like to eat. I might have a bite or two. But guess what? I can also read and read. Okay, and maybe the body's key. So I don't know why you're talking about what I eat or not. Who cares? But you look like you're struggling.
Okay.
But you know what? January, new year, new you. I'll see you in the gym.
Yeah, shout out to y'all in the chat. Shout out to
Crazy.
everybody. Shout out to everybody that's here. That was
Baby, I promise you, you cannot tongue tussle with me. I will hurt your feelings and have you out here crying. So just stop. I'm gonna tell you right now to stop because you can't tongue tussle with me. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm stronger than you and more intellectual than you and funnier than you. So, but you want to do that? If you want to go there, honey, if you want to make this a little gross, we can. But yeah, like I said, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I stand on my shit. I'm very proud of myself and the way I handle that. And I know that if it was you, you would have crumbled. If it was you, you wouldn't even be here. Wow. If a man hit you over the head, you wouldn't be here.
I was wondering if y'all had some brown sugar.
Y'all got the bricks in the comments.
I was really hoping for a productive conversation with productive people. And like I said, you can pick her.
Do you have some brown sugar?
Can you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, we did that. We did that.
Okay.
I trusted Island Girl and her page. I don't know what kind of people you affiliate yourself with.
Okay, so wait a minute. So Island Girl's responsible for bringing the talent on the show. Am I hearing that right? So, yeah, diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going.
People who are trying to brutalize me are the most. You know who they are? You know the kind of men who are making fun of the brick situation are the kind of men who would have sold you in Africa into slavery. That's the kind of man who thinks that is enjoyable. The kind of.
Okay, so we've gone from, listen, the news article at the beginning was very concrete. There was an investigation. There was CCTV. Oh, there I am again. CCTV. She lost the case. I think it was no NFA in the end, no further action from the police. That's the facts. Now, she's taking it to slavery, this kind of misdirection. You know, in most kind of situations where somebody's trying to give you that bullshit and expect you to swallow it, basically, and you make a valid point and then kind of distract you with some other points. There's going to be a lot of that. But anyway, let's crack on.
Men who are relishing and abusing women online and making fun of all this violence and using white supremacist tactics and all this stuff. Those are the men who would have sold you in slavery. Those are the men who would have been working for the FBI when you were sitting down with the Black Panthers. Those are the worst of the worst of our community. So if that's who you want to pander to, I understand. But I would implore you to elevate just a little bit. Because I feel like you have some other people in this room that might be able to teach you something. So how about you just close your mouth and let more intellectual people speak?
Okay,
thank you.
I apologize.
She is crashing out right now. Absolutely crashing out.
Can I apologize?
Maybe he got enough sugar in his tank. He got a lot of sugar in his tank. He's sassy as hell. He's over there trying to pander to the men in the comments. I can't see the comments. Is there a way for me to see it? But if there is, he's over there looking at the comments like, how can I pander to these men? Baby, they're not going to buy you a Burger King. Calm down.
I'm sorry.
Get back on topic. Let's go. Okay.
No, because she's a real brick house as a woman. I agree.
Okay,
standing on bricks.
Let's get back on the first topip. Welcome to the show, you guys. That was
all
a little
white bricks.
Icebreaker.
Wait, we didn't even talk about it.
Right. No. We're done.
No, I want to talk about it. I really do.
You know what's so funny? I never meet men like this in real life. All the men I really meet in real life that I'm in community with are amazing. But it's always when they get behind a little mic and they see this other man, they get all, baby, go back to the freaking mother's basement you came from.
Is my mic on? Thank you. Shit.
Listen, the signs, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right is going to be at a maximum right now. It's like, ding, 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 ding. The bell's ringing at 100%. Ding, ding. Anyway, let's go.
Remember that lie you told? You said it wasn't no amazing man around, right?
What lie did I tell? What lie did I tell?
The mic 2K. Can we talk about the topic? Y'all crashing out.
If you want to talk to me about that situation, honey, I have all the evidence. I didn't lie about That's a whole the lie is men who sold you off into slavery. They lied. They lied. Well, anyways, don't worry. Y'all gonna make me some money. Y'all gonna make a retired rich.
We already made you money. How much did you get from the scandal?
I got $0 from that, honey. No, zero. You don't have the information.
Oh my gosh,
You
she's
should stop
turning up.
talking about things that you don't have the information for.
Wow.
You didn't get no money. I didn't lie. Honey, you're reading the headlines. You're reading the headlines from bloggers who are exploiting me, and you're acting like it. Oh, the police have never ever got it wrong. The police have always fucking charged the right people. Shit, baby, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't have the information. You don't know what you're talking about. You're reading the headlines. You're pandering to other misogynist men, and you're pathetic right now, baby. Like I said, you're not on my level. You want. Honey, you don't know what you're talking about. Get the out there. If you want to know the truth, it's out there. I didn't come here for this. I didn't come here to talk to you ladies who don't know what's going on.
Hold on.
And like I said, you don't stress me out.
Hold on.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Is it Ro? Can I call you Ro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that most men are misogynistic?
I think most people are misogynistic, women and men included, because we're all socialized to be that way. In this country, especially in America or Western countries, we are all socialized to be anti-black and to be misogynist. Women have to do the work, just like men, to decolonize and fuck with, even women have to do the work to do anti-misogyny work, to become a girl's girl, to decenter, to care about women.
What makes us misogynistic in your opinion?
I think, like I said, I think we're socialized to be that way. Everything in our country, we're constantly being fed things that are anti-women.
No, I mean, not according to what you think is being socialized, but as far as what makes me misogynistic? I know that misogyny in a lot of people's instances are attached to masculinity, right? I see terms thrown out like toxic masculinity, that type of stuff. What would make a person misogynistic? And as far as give me an example. What would that look like in 2024 going into 2025?
I don't think misogyny has a look. I think it's an ideology, right? It's a thought process. It's the lens that you see the world in. And if you see the world in a lens where you think that women don't, if you're following the Western world and how you're going to see it, you're going to be misogynist. Even me, myself, as a person who has a doctorate in women and gender studies, when I was in the program, thinking that I was already, I thought I was
decolonized. You got a doctorate?
Hold on. Let her cook. Go ahead.
I thought that when I entered that space, I was 28 years old, and I really thought I've been a girl's girl forever. I've always had women's back. I advocate for women. I advocate for black people. But when I started reading those books and stuff like that, there was work that I had to do to undo stuff. I didn't realize that there was stuff that I was still doing that's participating in misogyny. And I think that there's still work to do. I think it's a constant reflexivity, a constant looking at yourself and the way that you're handling things. Like a couple of months ago, a black woman on TikTok had said something about me, and I made a video in response to her. And that was misogyny, because I didn't make no video responses for knuckleheads like him.
What did she say?
Because knuckleheads like this guy have been bothering me forever, and I've never made a response video.
No. See, the problem is these types.
And before we go on, please, I'm sorry, I've had to listen to this twice, and I apologize for polluting your brains with this nonsense. I say we're all going to lose brain cells off this thing. I think, anyway, to just try and summarize what she's saying, I think anybody that disagrees, male or female, with the lady in the bottom left, the brick lady, anybody that disagrees is by definition misogynistic, and also it's something about got that slave mentality or that slave master mentality, all that kind of BS, all that kind of smoke screens. But I think more than that, I think she's definitely deceptive. You know, she did this GoFundMe and defrauding people. It was a scam. That was it. And she talks about black things as well. And she's trying to send some black man down for something that he didn't do. And this is another thing. My gosh, man. Innocent until proven guilty. Never believe everybody. And also, just to wrap this up, there's nothing worse than a dumb, smart person. You know what I mean? She's most definitely dumb thinking she's smart. That is for facts. We just let her talk. Stupidness. How long is this video going to go on? Okay, we're nearly there. 1.2
Modern women, they don't even know what misogyny is. Misogyny is literally the hatred of women, right? So the examples that she's providing here is not even remotely close to the real definition of misogyny, right? Because if you ask 10 different modern women, what's the definition of misogyny? I mean, we've seen the videos. They're stuttering. They don't know what it is. They're talking about something else that has nothing to do with the real definition. So the fact that she's even calling herself misogynistic because she made a response video to somebody making a video about her. This girl's a hot mess. Absolutely hot mess. But let's keep going.
Hold on, 2K. Hold on, 2K. Hold on, 2K.
Is he a comedian? Because if he is, I just think that he should just choose
Listen,
better subject.
focus on me for 1 second.
Okay, I'm sorry. What I was saying is like, so here's a distinction. There were so many men who were harassing me constantly, and I never felt the need to make any response videos for them. But as soon as it was a black woman, I did it. And I thought, the way that I told myself, because we always tell ourselves lies, right? When we're doing things, we don't want to be honest. I told myself, oh, I'm doing this because she's a black woman and I'm protecting other black women. So I'm mad at her for this. But when I started to do the internal work, I was like, why do I feel more comfortable responding to her and not him?
Do you think that there's a level of do you think that there's a level of accountability on your part, and that it's not that most guys are misogynistic, but there's a lot of guys that are getting out of prison every single day because of being accused of something that they didn't do, because it's a whole agenda behind believe all women by default, and not because they can actually prove that you did anything to them. And so do you think that it's valid for men to question everything the same way that we question each other, right? I don't by default believe anything that anybody says, but if somebody if somebody makes an accusation, do you think that those guys are misogynistic because they hold you accountable? Because listen, we've advocated as a society, as a culture, for women to be equal. How do we justify the misogynistic label when people hold you accountable?
Okay, so that was very loaded. So let me try to break it down because I don't want to just overthink. So here's one. No, holding somebody accountable is not misogyny. And but I do believe that there might be an agenda to believe all women, but it's never been acted out. It might be a theory that people came up with. It might even be an agenda. If you want to say, I don't think it's an agenda, it might be all of those things, but it's never been practiced. We don't believe women.
You don't think so?
No, we don't. We still don't believe women, and we certainly don't believe black women. And I think it's very important to understand that black women, we deal with everything that black men deal with, and then on top of that, we deal with misogyny. So when you say that people are accusing you of things, people.
Again, I think they go on to talk about it now in the panel. It's nothing more dangerous than somebody who's full of shit advocating on the subject. They don't own that subject because they're on the full of shit wing of any debate. You know what I mean? But there's some genuine people out there. There's probably goodness knows how many genuine people. But this one here in the bottom left is not one of them. It's already been an investigation. There's even CCTV. She tried to send some man down, saying that he hit her, and the CCTV shows that she hit him. And I'm pretty sure it was NFA, no further action. But if he had have done, I'm pretty sure he'll be in a prison cell right now. Actually, no. I think she did go to prison, but I'm not too sure if it was for that. I think it was for the scam, trying to defraud people basically with bullshit. Anyway, let's go.
Accuse things of us. Black women walking on the street and people be like, oh, she did this, and everybody believes it. So we also deal with the accusations of people. So hold on. White women can carry us anytime. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish out, darling, okay? So that's one thing. Black women are always susceptible to also be accused of things and without anybody believing them. And two, the system hates all of us. So me as a black woman, I'm gonna tell you something about me. Yeah, the system, there's police and all of that. Me as a black woman, when I go to the police, they don't believe me. And they certainly don't see me as a person that deserves protection. So I'm always going to have a higher level of scrutiny already from the police. So now if my people hold me down with a whole higher level of scrutiny, that's fine. But there's a difference between holding somebody accountable and then also choosing not to believe them because you're trying to protect an image. Most people were not worried about trying to find out the truth. They were trying to conceal the truth. Whether it was true or not, they didn't want it to come out because they were worried about how that would affect black men.
You're making it personal back to
okay, so I'm saying, yeah, okay, because you guys brought it up and nobody was talking about that.
It's not no you guys. I'm not a monolith. I'm my own individual.
Here's my personal. This is what I would do. If somebody, so guess what? Okay, how about let's make it general. If somebody comes out right now, any one of these women or men, I don't care, because I don't even think about gender that way. If anybody comes out right now and says so and so did this to me, what I think is the most practical thing for the society that we live in right now is just to believe the person. Why? Hold on. Let me tell you why. You want to hear why I think that? The reason why I think that is because if I decide, no, I don't believe you, and now I'm all asking all these questions, guess what? Now the truth is much more muddier because everybody's putting in a theory and all that. Hold on, listen. Okay, so you're not letting me finish a complete thought. I'm trying to finish a complete thought. No, hold on. If I'm saying right now, but listen, let
me tell you what's wrong with your
argument. I didn't get to finish. I didn't make the argument yet. Let me just finish it. Now, if we allow the person, yes, I am going to land it, please. You threw a lot of questions at me. I'm trying to answer one. Let me answer this one. Okay. So now if we let this person speak and we all just be quiet and be like, okay, that's what your story is, and we be quiet. We allow them to keep speaking and keep talking without interruption. And that if they're lying, they will hang themselves. We will give them enough rope to hang themselves because we're allowed. If you let a liar lie, a liar will expose themselves because you're gonna be like, okay, what's the more details? Give us more details. Give us more details, and we will be able to catch them. But we don't do that. The minute somebody says this happened to me, we're like, liar.
This is the problem. This is the problem. y'all have been incentivized to lie.
Mhm.
And so
Who's y'all?
women,
Black women don't get to participate in that.
yes,
Black
you
women
do.
don't have.
Yes,
No,
you
black
do.
women don't.
There are
Black women
men
don't.
every single day, and you really need to look up the statistics with regard to.
No, I actually know. I have a woman in gender studies. I know this. That
What is
You
that?
didn't
black
hear what I
women
was about to
don't.
say. You didn't hear what I was about
Black
to
women
say.
don't have that.
You didn't hear what I was
safety.
about to say.
Sure.
You really need to look up the statistics with regard to the Innocence Project. And with regard to the Innocence Project, there are men every single day that either cop out or they're just now being freed because the technology that we have today has just caught up to where we can actually test to realize that there are a lot of people that were incentivized to lie on men, whether it be because, like, I'll give you an example. And I'll give you an example. And I always like to cite this example because this is an antithesis of what you're preaching. The woman that accused the Duke lacrosse team of raping them, she was lying. She lied beautifully. And here's the worst part about it. Nobody came back and apologized to the lacrosse team. And all of those guys' reputations were ruined. They got kicked out of school. It's men that get arrested, removed from their job because they have no retribution. Nobody ever gives the consequences to these people that are lying. And it doesn't mean that it's not things that happen to people. But I don't like it when people then generalize and say to believe all women, because that would mean to automatically demonize somebody else, because
No, we don't.
the way that the justice system is supposed to work is that it's innocent until proven guilty. But when you say believe all women, if women was believable, we wouldn't have to preach it.
That's a fact.
We wouldn't have to preach it.
But how
And then-
come?
and
How come?
I
How
see
come?
women lie every single day. Every day. People.
I see men lie every single day.
People lie.
People
But
lie.
I am
Yeah.
not going to, I am never going to give. the
Okay, so what
benefit of-
space?
I'm
What
not
space
going
do
to
you
give the
create for
benefit-
a
Wait,
victim?
wait,
What
wait,
space
wait,
do you
wait.
create for a victim? So what do you think a
What
victim
space do I
should?
create for a
What can a victim do? Because guess what? I said that I got hit.
If I can
Everybody
make-
called me a liar, and guess what? That man said he got hit, and I'm
You-
still being
listen,
called a
listen,
liar.
listen,
He
listen.
said he hit me on 3 different platforms.
Listen.
So
You
I'm just
keep-
saying, what do you
keep
do
bringing-
about the people?
You
Because
keep
it was
bringing
brought
up
up.
the- you
I
keep
didn't bring it
bringing
up.
up the
I don't talk
situation.
about that. I don't
You
talk about
keep
that.
bringing up this
It was
situation,
brought
and I'm
up.
telling you.
It was brought up.
No, I didn't bring it up. I'm talking to you. That he is a different person. I didn't bring that up. You
So
keep
I'm
bringing it up
asking
in
you,
order to justify
okay,
your
so
argument.
do you have a sister or a daughter?
I got 3 brothers and I have 1 daughter.
Okay. I also will agree. Here's my thing. As a person who is, has experience, it's hard not to speak from experience. I do think that when women are, I do think that there's a way. I think that especially a black woman should never go to social media. If you've been assaulted, don't ever go to social media. Never, ever, ever do that.
Just a quick pause. Just a kind of like cleanse for just a second. Does anybody think that this woman can hold down a man? Or hold down any kind of relationship? And even if she was like twice as stunning, even if you times her beauty, whatever it is, whatever you rate her, and you times it by 2, or times by 3, or times it by 5, do we still think that she's going to be single? Well, I'll speak for myself. I think she'd still be single. Find a way with that attitude to still be single. Oh my gosh, it's intolerable, man. Wow, and I feel bad for, you know what I mean? Sorry, guys. Half an hour, we're never going to get back. We're nearly at the end now. So if you watched it this far, we can get through. So 1.25 speed and just see if she talks any sense. Newsflash, I don't think she will. I don't think she does at any point. Any point. There's no sense that this person, this human being has talked the whole day. You know what I mean? This whole kind of little sketch thing. That's worrying. It's actually sad. Sad in terms of the state of it. Not sad for her because she's a liar and she's a scam artist, but, in terms of society, the fact that we've got these people running around and they've got a platform. Oh my gosh, and I've added to it. Oh. Anyway, I think the point that I'm making. I'm adding to it just an example of where we don't want to be. Let's go.
I totally agree with that. But the system doesn't advocate for women too. Like if a black woman walked into a police station and said,
that you are bitter and you are scorned.
I'm not bitter and I'm not scorned. I am deeply heartbroken. I'm deeply heartbroken because what happened to me was brutal. And to happen to your own community, it was brutal. Because guess what? I'm a person who has advocated for our black community forever. I've been to all the protests.
I think that
everything I've done around.
You need to do some self-searching.
You don't know me, sweetheart, and you don't know what I'm trying to do. That was a brutal thing that I went through, and this guy laughed about it.
Offended at everything. You keep introducing yourself into the conversation in your own personal situation. So when I then speak to it, then that makes it valid. I never asked you your personal situation. I was speaking.
He brought it up. You know what you're doing now? You're negating the fact that I came here prepared to have an adult conversation about the topic that was at hand.
The reason why you get the type of energy that you get.
For me not to react to my trauma is crazy. First of all, I don't care
about your trauma.
I can tell that you don't care.
I don't care about your
Bro,
truth.
what
And
the
what you
fuck,
don't,
I can tell you don't
hold
care.
on, hold on.
I can tell you don't
We can
care.
get back to it, y'all. I
But we're
promise
not
y'all.
going to act like
Your
I came here to
problem.
have a conversation about the topics that
Your
you guys want to have
problem.
and to add an
Your
intellectual
problem.
level. I don't have a problem. You don't know what problems I have. You don't know me.
I know it
This
because
is
I'm
crazy.
paying attention to what you interacting with me right now. I'm speaking on what my personal interaction with you in this short amount of time is. I don't
What
give
you're
a fuck.
negating,
I
what
don't
you're
care
negating
about
was
your
that somebody.
past.
Okay,
I
so
never
let me talk about the
introduced
worst
your
thing that
past.
ever happened to you. Laugh about it, and then when you react to it, be like, oh, you know what? This is the problem that you have.
I don't
You're
care.
negating what he did.
Nobody
Okay, I can tell
cares.
that you don't care.
The
I can
fact
tell
that
you don't
keep
care.
bringing it up shows
I didn't bring it up. He
you're
brought it
still
up.
bringing it
And now
up.
that
You're
you bring
still
it
bringing
up,
it up.
now that you bring it up, you can't act like it didn't happen.
I don't
Like, that's
care about
crazy.
what the fuck you think about your situation. If you want to address that with him separately,
I just want to
offline,
address
then
it. I
take
don't
that
think
and
that
address it
anybody,
with
I
him
don't think that
offline.
you or him have the range to have that conversation with me.
You
I'm
better
having
have
it with you right now.
You don't need no range for the paperwork.
Stop,
Hold it
2K.
to his
Stop,
show.
2K. Stop, 2K. Give me 1 second. Your problem, and give me a second. You
don't know what my problems
you're
are.
free
You
to
have no
respond.
idea
You're
what-
free to respond. I'm trying not to mute you because I want to make sure that we had this conversation.
This is crazy.
You introduced yourself into the conversation with me.
Exactly.
You keep introducing your own personal situation when I was talking in general. Your problem, and this is the problem of a lot of women that's out here, is that you bring this type of energy on you. I know women that ain't never had a problem with a man in their life. I know women that ain't never been assaulted. I know women that ain't never had.
So now you're saying that I bring that kind of energy to myself.
Stop. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to speak, but I keep trying to tell you that your femininity is your secret weapon. That's the thing that you have as a trump card. You talk too much. You too aggressive.
Yeah.
You masculine. It ain't that we think is
I'm
that
masculine?
we can identify when a woman want to act like a man and we treat you as such.
No, I
So
do
if
not.
you-
First of
if
all,
you- if
I'm
you
around.
wanna-
First
if
of all,
you
the
wanna
men I'm
have
in
that type of
community with,
energy-
the men.
I don't know about acting like a man and treating her as such. I understand how he's got triggered himself a little bit, I think, in this conversation, because it's just been relentless and throwing all these smoke screens. And I think to the other guys, you're trying to say you got sugar in your tank and one of the Santa hat on, just because, you know what I mean, you just can't take that kind of two-way kind of opinion type thing. But I totally agree with him in as much as it's her energy. You know what I mean? It's her negativity and her kind of mindset, which kind of leads to arguments. Basically, an argumentative person. You know what I mean? Stuck on stupid, argumentative, just verbally aggressive, you know what I mean? And just problematic in as much as going around trying to scam people, literally scamming people and kind of calling the police on somebody who was innocent. You know what I mean? It's okay, bye, in order for this kind of master plan to try and raise this money. That goes back to the news article, and it's just like, oh my gosh, man, guys out there, just be careful and selective about the people you surround you. Don't obviously. Not only would you strap it up for this person, you wouldn't even go anywhere near her. You wouldn't go anywhere near this type of person. My gosh, please, guys, protect yourselves. Anyway, let's go.
You want to have that type of energy? If you want to have that type of energy,
like this.
I gotta mute you because you're not gonna keep interrupting me. If you gonna have that type of
Oh,
energy,
she ran.
cool. Listen, ladies, let them run. Let them run.
Could we slow clap?
Hold on, and I just want to say this.
Damn.
I want to say this really quickly because I never ever, and it ain't a person up here that could say that I was offensive. It ain't a person up here that could say I called her out of her name. It ain't a person up here that could say that I said anything negative to her whatsoever. She introduced herself into this conversation. She got met with aggression, and I would implore every guy to stand 10 toes down and stop letting these chicks bully you just because she a woman. She can't bully nobody up here. And I tried to offer her grace by being an intercessor between her and 2K. But the reality of it is that type of woman, the personification of her, and any woman that's like her are going to have problems for their entire life with men, with society, with the police, with labels, and they always gonna be a victim. Those type of women are always gonna be a victim. And the problem, here's the other part of that problem, is that women, y'all gonna be the ones that get labeled as angry black women because she is going to be your representative. It's always the loudest ones in the room that's gonna paint a picture, and it don't matter how feminine you are, you basically gonna have to go in there. You know how they say that you gotta go in there? A lot of times we gotta go into the workplace, or we gotta go into the classrooms, and we gotta perform 10 times harder. It's not because society is racist. It's because they then represent you, and then they create a personification in other people's minds, and y'all gotta go out there and fight the fight for them because y'all don't hold them accountable. If y'all keep letting them type of woman get away and paint the picture, and y'all keep supporting them in the name of...
I'm just broadening it from what they're talking about, that this woman kind of stigmatizes every other black woman as being the same. But also in psychology, I got 2-1 in psychology and a master's degree in economics. It is normal for people to generalize. We're bombarded with a lot of stimuli and a lot of information. So we have to generalize it in order to understand it. And one of those things is generalizing groups is just normal. It's just normal. And we have to kind of actively kind of build skills and build processes to override it. Okay, so as much as we think that others may be kind of othering us, it's the same as the group. Trust me, everybody does it to each other. But the problem is when that one group is in power, in the majority, then they have to work harder. Because it doesn't matter if the minority do it, because they don't have any power or influence. It's the people who have power and influence. Anyway, we're going from it. All I'm trying to say is, yes, she will stigmatize people, but it's not exclusive to just that. There's other things as well, which will also be equally stigmatized. Let's go forward.
Black women, guess what? I don't believe that most black women are like that. I tend to believe, through my own personal experience in real life, that most black women are feminine, they cool, they dope. Even if they have a difference of opinion with you, they then lean to their femininity because they truly are that. They can't avoid what it is that God made them. But if y'all keep letting these chicks come up here and embarrass y'all, and I ain't just talking about on this panel, I'm talking about in life. If y'all keep letting these women keep embarrassing y'all, then y'all can't complain about how y'all looked at as society, because she is the very definition of an angry black woman, and she wouldn't even let nobody else speak. She act like this is her panel.
True.
Yeah.
I knew she was gonna shit a brick when she got on here.
But you started the shit. Excuse my language. You started the shit. You started it.
All right, guys, so there you have it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Definitely leave a link in the description. I would imagine that this video is pretty long as it is, but let me know what you guys think about this. Okay, I find it quite fascinating that none of the women were speaking up at all on the panel. Okay, when she was going off, crashing out, nothing was said from the women. Now, I get some women don't like the confrontation and dealing with a situation like that. But, you know, Anton is absolutely right. If you're not going to check this type of behavior within the sisterhood, she's just going to continue to do it, right? Because she knows that no one is going to check her and no one's going to say anything. Okay, they're just going to remain silent. And Anton was right in regards to the representation. Okay, this is a bad look for black women when it comes to attitude and, you know, the whole talking points when it comes to the attitude and what have you. The loudest people in the room are usually the weakest, but the loudest people in the room overshadow the feminine women that are great women, right? It's just unfortunate that those types of masculine women have a bad representation for black women. I'm just saying. The fact that she is even on this panel as if nothing happened, okay? Nothing happened. If you never knew about the story, you would have thought that she's just a regular chick calling into a live stream, okay? I find it quite fascinating that she just pops up on the stream like nothing happened. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback, and until next time.
What I think is basically, I say we've already, this is an old story which has kind of been like updated and revisited. So we already know who's full of shit or not. And it's unfortunate that if that guy didn't, the guy that she was accusing of throwing a brick at her, if he didn't have absolute proof, he'd be sitting in a jail cell. And there's going to be people out there saying, believe all women, basically, in this instance. There's going to be people out there feeling very justified in saying, believe all women instead of innocent until proven guilty. How's about not creating victims? No matter what, you don't create more victims. You can't go on the basis that all of one gender are just not bullshitters at all or got perfect judgment. Of course not. There's just many more cases, and this is just one of the many. You know what I mean? So I think that's why nobody was speaking up, because they say it was indefensible. And I got a feeling that one guy with the beard, I think he's called Anton. So I'm in the UK, so I'm not that familiar with the UK peeps, with the US peeps, sorry. I think he was one of the top honchos. I think in the top left, this was an Island Girl, I think she was called, or something like that. And that she must be quite high up in terms of all these influences which are gathered in the panel. But I say Anton's one of those familiar faces I've seen on other kind of panel discussions. So maybe that's why they didn't want to jump in on him. Maybe he's the top honcho. But I say maybe it's also backed up by, say, they know the facts. There's nothing to defend from this lady. And she's not representing herself in a way which is kind of, well, actually, she had a point on nothing at all. You know what I mean? And just trying to play victim when you know that she's the villain. You know what I mean? You just got to let them talk. You know what I mean? And take it for the media moment that it is. So there we go. Anyways, 1 a.m. in London. I'm going to have to leave it there. So please like, subscribe. That is Steve, and I am out.